In this video today, we are going to be taking a look at the most popular legends at the Atlanta Regional Qualifier taking place over today and tomorrow. I mean, it was on Friday as well, but the actual main event that we're going to be discussing is on live as we speak. So the most popular legends at this event, the same five as the previous one: Draven, Irelia, Kai'Sa, Master Yi, and Victor. Now, again, like I said on the previous one, a healthy meta shows that there's a good mix of legends. We've got lots of different ones here. Ari being the sixth most popular is interesting. What I would say about Ari is that she's been up there for the most valuable best of the metal plates and signatures. So people might be thinking if they could win the Ari one, then they might have a chance at making a crazy amount of money. Now, we've discussed this before, and I think that if it was purely based on people bringing the deck that they think they're best on that could win the event, it would not look like this. We probably wouldn't have a single Garen or Renata glass. But the fact that there's quite a mix of legends all across the board is very good, and my side shows a healthy state of the game right now. I think the bans that they did to Draven have helped, but it's interesting. Draven is still the most popular legend at this event, so that means most people, in terms of any legend, the people think Draven is the best based on off of this. Azir, not even 50, not far off obviously, but considering you just won the Lille qualifiers, interesting. For this video, what we're going to do, we're going to look at the best of from the top 5 decks in terms of popularity in Atlanta, based off the best of that they had in Lille. So we'll start off with the Draven. This is the most popular one. So interesting compared to what we saw with Draven earlier on in the set before the bans. We've got 3 Ferris Forerunners. Most Dravens ran 1 or 2 in the main. I think this Rek'Sai Breach card is very interesting. What I will say about this card is its ability to friendly units played from anywhere other than a player's hand have accelerate. There's not going to be many times, I think, in this deck that you're going to be able to do that. However, the unit having accelerate itself is pretty nice. That can be a win con in itself. Compared to, like, say, the sneaky deckhand, it's got some pretty good uses. Pouty Poro's seen a return. I mean, the Pouty Poro is mostly in there for the deflect. There's a lot of annoying decks now that have little ways of killing you. Pouty Poro's good at getting over that because it means if they want to do it, they're going to have to deramp. Spinning Axe very good. We've got Cleave that's put in. Aspirant's Climb's interesting. Draven is a deck that does ramp up, but there's other pretty good ramp decks, and if you play like an Auroras and you give them this, then that could be pretty bad. Zone Warren's very popular now. Only one round that wins interesting, but there's a good mix in here. You've got 3 hard bargains, potentially for certain matchups. You had an extra rebuke. The Firmo Beam. I would like 2 Firmo Beam rather than 2 Vexes, but it is what it is. But yeah, a pretty cool deck in general, and it's like a slight variation of what we've already seen of Draven. Irelia, second most popular. This is a bit different to some of the other Aurelias. We saw some Aurelias that were somewhat similar, but a bit more aggro, a bit more low cost units to get going earlier. This Aurelia is all around the Protect the Queen. It's near identical to what we've been seeing earlier on in this set with Aurelia. Aurelia's main playstyle has been Protect the Queen. She was comfortably the most successful deck at Lille in terms of day 2 and top 64 conversions. She had 50% of the decks in the top 32. So clearly a very strong deck, but we've not really seen much in the way of winning in the West. I think there was an Aurelia that won a major in China, but so she has had some success in set 2, but not as much as maybe would have expected, but still been a very good consistent deck. 3 Stellar Cord in there is pretty special, very, very good card. Guardian Angel, very good. Zonya's protected the Aurelia. You've got loads of spells in here. Suits the Raven Blue Conservatory very well. Got Zone Warrens as a potential game 1. Sunken Temple as a go first. And then, I didn't mean to click that. And then the Raven Blue's good to go second. Adaptatron, very nice. This one's really useful because it allows you to have gear hate in there. I do think Windwall could become a thing that we see more of moving forward. The thing about Windwall is that Windwall makes it so there's the possibility of stopping any spell. There's a few stuff that if you don't have Windwall, you can't stop it. That in set 3, I think, could be quite annoying. Okay, number 3, Kaiser. Kaiser's always going to be fairly popular because of a legend. Basically, getting a seal on any colour spell is pretty crazy. Kaiser Survivor, really, really good chosen champ. It's a little bit more unit heavy than some of the Kaisers were earlier on in this set, I think. I think Kaisers know that if they don't have enough units out there, they're going to really struggle into like cool the weak decks. They're going to get ground down, so having the units to play in these games is important. I would honestly probably go 3 Ferrous Forerunners. You can brick a bit sometimes if you have too many of them, but it's just such an important card to see. Thousand Tail Watch is a really good finisher. There's obviously a really good mix in here of spells. Get Excited's a really nice tech. You can use this to get over some cards like Aurelia. For 2 energy, you could discard a Time Warp and then blow up a big unit. It's a very powerful combo against certain decks. Shakedown's really nice. You can potentially get 2 draw. The deck has really good draw power across the board, but Progress Day is a really nice one that you can do for free effectively with the Kaiser Legend in terms of the power. Time Warp's finisher. Vilemore, pretty popular one. Void Gate, understandable. And then, yeah, just some really solid stuff in here. I think Immortal Phoenix would probably be one of those games where you're going to see it against like Victor and decks like that, where you could get ground out a bit and you need units to be able to keep coming back. The Immortal Phoenix card art, by the way, one of the best in the game, I would say. Master Yi, this is a mid-range Yi. Saw a lot of success from mid-range Yi at Lille. Wasn't something massively on my radar. Yi is pretty solid into this meta where there's a lot of spells. It's hard to play against him. He's got the draw power of Stellarcorn. He's got green, which gives him counters. He's got orange for some nice buffs and gear. A few one-offs that are pretty useful in there. Solid legend. Sorry, champ in the chosen champ section. Charms, honestly, one of the most underrated cards in the game. I think it's very, very powerful. Lots of nice pump spells in there. Some stuns. A few battlefields here that's going to suit you a lot more than it will suit other people. But you do have some extra gear hate, a few different ways of playing in there. It's just a very versatile deck. It can do a lot of different things, and when you can do a lot of different things, that can make a big difference, in my opinion. So it's cool to see decks like that. And Yi, interesting to see how he does. I don't think he'll get to a final this weekend, but who knows? And then Victor, honestly, for me, probably the biggest disappointment at Lille. I predicted Victor to win. I'd seen him playing a lot. He'd had a top 4 when we, I think Bologna with Ghost Driver. Ghost Driver, I think he was runner up. Could be wrong. And the nerfs didn't hurt Victor at all. There was not a single nerf that affected him. He was already doing fairly well. There was nerfs that affected Draven, Aurelia, Kaiser. I really thought that this would help Victor. So I'm very intrigued to see how Victor does at this event. Lots of really good stuff in there, though. He's got decent draw power. He's always got guaranteed turn 1 just units across the game. The Vanguard Armory combo with Jace is very nice. Can really get you going, just pump out units. Bellows Breath and Imperial Decree is great. Singularity is a big blowout. Lots of spells to get rid of stuff. You can put extra salvage in for gear hate. Arena's greatest games. It's very, very hard to stop Victor. Treasure Hoard just means you don't run out of gold. Void Gate's a great game 1. I just don't understand why Lille Victus underperformed so much. I think this deck really is a top tier deck. So yeah, we'll see. Was my prediction for the regional qualifiers ridiculous, or was I on something and we see Victor do really well at Atlanta this weekend? Time will tell. We will analyse the winning decks, top 8 from Atlanta, on Monday. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, having a look at some of the most popular decks based off of what has actually been picked. Appreciate you all tuning in. If you do like these type of videos, please consider subscribing. Hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.